Welcome to the small group instruction session for New Teacher Institute 2025. In this session, you're going to learn about small group instruction here at PLA. Here are our learning targets for today. Educators will be able to answer the following questions. What is small group instruction? Why is small group instruction important? How do I schedule small group instruction? How do I utilize data to guide small group instruction? And what are some resources available to use during small group instruction? Here's our Do Now activator. List 3 ways that scholars can benefit from participating in small group instruction. We're going to do a think, write, pair, share activity. You will have 1.5 minutes to think and write, which are steps 1 and 2, and then you'll have 1.5 minutes to pair up and share. All right, let's go ahead and start with the 1.5 minutes to think and write. So I'm going to put the timer on. Go ahead and get started. All right, now that you have finished writing your thoughts down, let's go ahead and do a pair share. Go ahead and stand up and find a partner that you can share the information with. So go ahead and stand up, find someone. All right, I'm going to put on the timer now for 1.5 minutes. So go ahead and get started. The person that has the longest hair should begin first. All right, I hope that you enjoyed pairing up with someone and getting to know someone new. Let's see if one person can share with us what your partner shared with you. Awesome. Let's have the person right there share with us. Nice and loud. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started learning more about small group instruction. We'll start off by talking about what is small group instruction here at PLA. So what is small group instruction? We're going to look at PLA's academic playbook to see how PLA defines small group instruction. You can scan the QR code on the screen to gain access to this academic playbook. From there, you can go to either pages 97 to 100 if you're an elementary teacher, or pages 101 to 103 if you teach middle school or high school. These pages detail how to schedule for small group instruction and the PLA small group instruction expectations. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to read over scheduling expectations and how small group instruction is defined at PLA. I'll go ahead and put on the timer right now for 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes are up. Let me have a few people share out what you learned about small group instruction here at PLA. All right, here you see how PLA defines small group instruction. Small group instruction is used to reteach, reinforce, or extend scholar learning. Every scholar receives small group instruction in both ELA and math. Groups should have no more than 6 scholars who are working on life skills. Groups will change throughout the year based on recent scholar data. Let's talk about why PLA prioritizes small group instruction. So what are the benefits of small group instruction? We're going to watch a video to learn more.
Look at all these great volunteers. Go ahead. Yes, nice job. So the impact of differentiation, the students feel successful. They feel supported. They know if something is difficult for them, there's something that's a little more in line with their strengths coming up soon. So it really makes education fun and approachable. I really think it's the most effective way that I have seen to teach.
The vision and the mission of Highlander is to use innovative practice as a social catalyst. We want our kids to be able to do anything any other kid from Providence could do.
We use differentiation all across the curriculum here at Highlander, and especially in the first grade. Although the content is the same, having the stations really allows me to tailor my lessons to each individual group of learners. So how the differentiation looks in my classroom, we start off with a whole group lesson. So let's get our reading glasses on. Let's get the letter part of our brains activated. This section of our curriculum, we have been looking at nonfiction texts. When we're looking at our book today, we're going to be thinking about where we can get information. And then in the phonics realm, we focused on contractions. We're taking two words, and what are we sticking them together with?
Apostrophe.
Yes, Karen. Good job. Then we break off into our small groups. So our yellow group is still learning how to do a lot of our literacy things. The green group is doing pretty well, but has a few things to work on still. And our blue group is hitting all the first grade standards and needs to be stretched. So our differentiation kind of takes two forms. The first is by student grouping, and the second is by modality of learning. We have 20 minutes per station, and there are 3 of the stations. The students will rotate through all 3 stations each day.
So our first station for the blue group is the computer station.
The students use a Google form to check in. They'll normally watch a video or carefully observe a photograph and answer some questions about that.
We watched a video about how to grow a seed. We had to type in our favorite part and why.
After they finish that form, they can check out an ebook.
And then you could do this game of reading called Teacher Must Know How to Read.
We're delivering things in a way that is visual, that is auditory, that is individual to the students through the technology.
After that, she rings the bell.
Clean up, switch up, first grade readers.
We switch to the sort station.
Our sort station is more of a physical modality. They're using their bodies, which is so important for first graders. They need to move. Kids are cutting out the words, they're gluing them down.
We had a contrasting game. It's fun because it's all mixed up and you had to find the right pieces. And then after we do that, we do rainbow writing.
That's another way that we differentiate. If students are able to get through more work, then they have some freedom of choice. Clean it up, switch it up. The last station, we're talking to each other and learning from each other. So that's more of the social interaction type of modality.
I like the teacher station the most because we get to be with Miss Gallagher and we get to learn cool stuff.
So take a look at the illustrations on this page, right? And the content is the same, but it can be differentiated in a number of ways. My blue group, for example, they know what text is. They know what illustrations are. And so for them, I create a Venn diagram.
You need to make one circle like this, and then you make another circle overlapping that.
Oh! For the yellow or the green group, I'm just leaving the Venn diagram out of it. We're still doing essentially the same thing, but just that piece that might be confusing to some of those students, I just leave that out for a later time. They'll get to it. All right, so clean up and meet me in the middle of the rug for writing. Nice work, first grade.
being able to move through those stations, it's just another level of helping the students learn as much as they can each year. They really feel excited when they make that growth.
They're proud of themselves. They feel like they're effective learners. As a teacher, honestly, it is a lot of work, but the results that you see and the happy faces of the kids and the good feeling that you have in the classroom is worth it.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that video. And hopefully you did jot down some examples that you saw in the video of what are the benefits of some small group instruction. So let me have someone from table 4 share. What are some of the benefits of small group instruction that you gathered from this video? Fantastic. What about someone from table 8? All right, awesome. Thank you all for sharing and for being active listeners in with the video. All right, so let's find out how we schedule for small group instruction and determine standards to teach scholars. So how do we ensure that small group instruction occurs in our classrooms? We must be intentional about scheduling time every day for small group instruction. So how does it fit into math and ELA blocks? Well, your master schedule will include dedicated time for small group instruction to allow you to differentiate for scholars as needed. Master schedules include time for 2 rotations of small group instruction each day. And so as you can see on the slide, on the screen, your core instruction is 60 minutes with gradual release, and then you have 20 minutes for small group instruction number 1 and 20 minutes with small group instruction number 2. Here you see an example of an ELA block. Similar to the math block, your master schedule will have a dedicated time block for small group instruction to support your scholars. So here in this example, you have 40 minutes of core group instruction for reading. Then you have 30 minutes for phonics and foundational skills, 20 minutes for writing, and then you'll have 30 minutes for each small group instruction groups, number 1 and number 2. So what are some potential obstacles in scheduling small group instruction? Let me go ahead and have you turn and talk with someone right there at the table with you and discuss what you think some potential obstacles are in scheduling small group instruction. I'll put the timer on for 2 minutes and you'll each have 1 minute to share. Go ahead and begin talking. All right. Give me 5. Excellent. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. I saw some great conversations taking place. Let me have a person from table 1 share what you and your partner discussed. Excellent. So if you are a middle school or high school teacher, think about small group instruction across the span of the entire week. You might use your first lesson of the week to introduce a new skill to your class and then practice this skill collaboratively on Tuesday. Scholars may apply the skill independently on Wednesday through Friday, so you are able to take small groups of scholars to support them. To ensure that small group instruction is most effective, we must use the most recent scholar data to both form small groups and determine what to teach scholars in small groups. So we group scholars together based off of our most recent scholar data. These groupings are fluid and will change throughout the year as scholar data changes. Here you can see an example of a class report from NWEA. At PLA, we use NWEA to assess our scholars 3 times during the year. Each scholar receives a score for both ELA and math. How could you use this data to group your scholars? I'd like for you to turn and talk with a partner now about how you would use this to group scholars together. How would you create groups of 6 or less scholars using this data? How and when would these groups change during the school year? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to talk with your partners, and then I'll call on some partners to share your thoughts. All right, I'm going to put the timer on. Again, what you are discussing is on the screen. How would you use this report to create groups of 6 or less scholars, and how and when would these groups change during the school year? All right, timer is going on for 3 minutes. Go ahead and turn and talk and discuss these questions with your partner. All right, give me 5. Excellent. Let me have a someone from group 3 share what you and your partner discussed. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. You're so right. This report could be used to group your scholars based off their initial NWEA scores. And where we see that there are more than 6 scholars with similar RIT scores on this report, we can break them into smaller groups based off other data pieces that we have for the scholars. And so these initial groups should be fluid and updated as we get more data pieces for our scholars and what they understand. Here you see another type of data you might get for your scholars, a Dibbles reading assessment report that demonstrates scholars' reading abilities. Scholars in grades K through 6 are assessed using multiple Dibbles assessments where they might be asked to blend words, read a passage, or state the sounds in words. Now we'll have you do a turn and talk with your table about why this information would be helpful when grouping scholars and determining what to teach scholars in small groups. I'm going to have you talk together as a table this time. You're going to have 3 minutes to discuss. And again, the questions are up on the screen. How would you use this information to group scholars? And how could you use this information to determine what to teach scholars? All right, as a group at your table, you'll have 3 minutes to discuss. Go ahead and get started. All right, give me 5. Excellent. I love how you all come together with me once I do the give me 5 so we can continue discussing this topic. All right, let me have someone from table 7 share what your table discussed. Awesome. Oh my gosh, excellent. So yes, you are so correct. This data can be used to form small groups of scholars who have similar needs. For example, scholars who may need support with naming letters could be grouped together for support in that area, while scholars who have mastered that skill but need support with blending could be grouped together. Excellent. You all are so sharp. So it is important to remember that small groups will change throughout the year based on your most recent data for your scholars. Exit SIPs, checks for understanding, common formative assessments, unit assessments, and your own observations will help to guide when your small groups should change. Quizzes is a great website to check for scholar understanding, where you can add your own questions to the site and it will create a game for scholars to play. Afterwards, a report will be created for you to see which questions each scholar got correct or incorrect. For small group instruction, we focus on modeling a skill or strategy for scholars and then allowing the scholars to practice that skill with our support and coaching. At PLA, we use a variety of resources for small group instruction, including both M-class intervention for scholars who are below benchmark and guided reading for scholars who are at or above benchmark. To support scholars with literacy skills, scholars in grades K through 6 who are below benchmark can receive differentiated small group instruction created by M-Class Intervention. M-Class Intervention is a platform that will take DIBEL's benchmark assessment data and create lessons based on scholars' needs for teachers and or reading interventionists to teach. If you are a K through 6 ELA teacher, you will learn more about M-Class intervention during your content week. Here's a sample video of a teacher doing small group instruction using M-Class. As you watch the video, think about what are some of the things that you noticed in the video and anything you found to be effective or any aha moments.
How are you guys doing? Good. Okay, great. All right, so today we're going to start with a game, and we're going to pretend that we're sound detectives, okay? So I'm going to show you guys some pictures, and we're going to need to find some pictures to fill up our bag. So I'm going to say a sound, and I want you to find which picture has the sound in the middle, okay? So here we go.
Like 144 or 50.
So my turn first. Okay, my turn first. So I would like to find a picture that has the sound A in the middle. My turn first. So I'm gonna be a good sound detective. Which picture has A in the middle? Found it. Fish.
No.
Ish.
Yes.
Yes. Fish has A in the middle, right?
Oh, I think that.
Ish. Fish. So we're going to put it in our bag. All right? Okay, let's work on the next one. So raise your hand if you know the next one, but I haven't said the sound yet. So how are you raising your hand? Okay, the next one I would like you to find, sound detectives, is the picture that has aw in the middle. So be a good sound detective and look around. Which one has aw in the middle? Krisa.
Dog.
Dog. That's right. Bring our dog. Which sound has ah in the middle? Sutini.
Cat.
Cat. Well, you guys are so good. I'm going to add all of the pictures then.
Dog.
All right. Which picture has aw in the middle, Emery? Car. Say car. You're right. The sounds in car are k, r. And what sound did I ask for? Aw. Say aw. Aw.
Car has
Say k, r.
R.
R. Do you hear all in R? No. Nice try though. Do you want to try again? Which card is that?
I don't know what it is.
It's a rat.
I thought it was a mouse.
Well, you know what? I really love how you're giving her a chance and waiting for her to get a turn. Tell me the sounds in rat.
Rat.
What's the middle sound in rat? Ah, but I asked for all. Let me try to help you out. Look at these two. Which one has the all sound in the middle? What's the picture?
I don't know what this is.
So how do you know it's that one?
It's a box.
Okay, so here. This is
It's just a guess.
It's a guess. So let's not guess, because we're trying to be sound detectives, right? And a detective, you're not trying to guess, you're trying to get the right one. So this is 6, and this is fox.
Fox.
Which one has all in the middle?
Fox.
Fox, that's right. Thank you.
I can show.
Yep, you can put it in the bag.
Nobody will.
Okay, which one has the ah sound?
Hat.
Hat. You wanna grab it?
Oh my god.
Wanna help him? Put it in the bag. Right.
What?
Which one has the, thank you for sitting down. Which one has the sound in the middle? Rocks.
Duck.
Duck. Right. Which one has the all sound in the middle? Sutini.
Mop.
Mop. Nice. Okay. Which one has the ah sound in the middle? Emery. This is van, right?
Oh.
Do you hear? Say it sounds in van. Is ah in the middle? Yes. All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you a challenge one. Okay. Which one? So let me tell you what these cards are, just in case you don't know what they are. Okay. So this is nose,
I know that. 6.
6, lock, and rat. Okay.
Ew.
Okay.
Disgusting.
All right. So which one of those has a in the middle? The sound a. Okay. Not ah. I said a. A like in late.
Or
A.
Lake. Lake.
Like lake. So which one of these
Lake. Or
has
lake.
a in the middle?
It's a challenge one.
It's a challenge one.
I know it. I know it.
It's actually a trick one. It's more than just a challenge. It's a trick.
I know.
What is that a picture of?
Rat.
What's the middle sound in rat? Ah. What's the sound that I asked you for?
A.
A.
I know.
Not the same sound, right?
I know. I really know.
Roxy?
No.
What's the middle sound in lock? Ah. What sound did I ask for?
A.
A.
I know. I really know. I know. I think I know.
Sutini?
No.
What's the middle sound in nose?
She gave that answer.
Oh, hold on. Listen to Sutini. What's the middle sound in nose?
What is that?
Tell me the sounds in nose. That's right. N, O, Z. What's the middle sound in nose? O. What's the sound that I asked for again? What sound did I ask for? A.
I know. I think I know.
You think you know, Rolly? What is it?
Please. No. Rat?
Rat? What's the middle sound in rat?
Six. Stop shouting out the answers. Yeah, I know. You were shouting out the answers.
What's the middle sound in rat? Tell me the sounds in rat. What's the middle sound? No. R. Ah. What was the middle sound?
Rat.
Ah. And what sound did I ask for? A. Okay. Is there a picture that has the A sound in the middle?
No.
No. So that was a trick.
I know.
There is no picture that has A in the middle. I tricked you guys. All right. Let's move on to the next activity. How are you guys doing?
All right. So with this video, what are some things that you noticed? And was there anything you found to be effective or any aha moments? Let me have you share at the table. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to be able to discuss this. Go ahead and get started. All right, who would like to share what you all discussed at your table? Let me see, table 5. Anybody want to share? Excellent, great job, thank you. Quick note for presenters, you stopped the video at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I continued going on, but you will stop at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, so to support scholars with math skills, scholars in grades K through 5 who are below benchmark can receive differentiated small group instruction with lesson plans available through Eureka Math Squared called Math Catalyst. If you are a K through 5 math teacher, you will learn more about Math Catalyst intervention during your content week. Small group instruction for math can vary depending on grade level and standards, but it is an ideal time for scholars to explain their thinking for mathematical problems. Scholars may use math manipulatives during small group instruction to explain their thinking and work out problems. Let's take a few minutes to review a small group lesson. Review how the lesson plan is set up, including pacing recommendations and materials needed. As you're doing that, I want you to think about, how does the teacher model skills and thoughts for scholars? How are scholars engaged throughout the lesson? And how would the teacher check for scholar understanding? On the screen, you can see 2 QR codes. One is an example of a reading lesson plan. One is an example of a math lesson plan. Choose the one that you will be teaching, what content you will be teaching. If you're teaching both, just choose one of them. You will have 10 minutes to review this small group instruction. I will leave the slide up here so you can look at what you are expected to look for. The questions are there. Any questions? All right, well, get your phone out so you can scan the QR code, and I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. Go ahead and get started. All right, your 10 minutes are up. I hope that you were able to get some good information from that. We are now going to take a few moments to share your plan with a table mate for feedback. You will each have 5 minutes to share with your partner. What did you notice about the small group instruction lesson plan? What instructional strategies would you like to implement for your small group lessons? And how did the lesson plan check for scholar understanding? I'm going to put a 5-minute timer for the first partner to share. And then that first person will have 2.5 minutes, and then the next 2.5 minutes will be for the second person to share out. All right, give me 5. All right, so let me have someone from table 2 share what you and your partner discussed. Excellent. Anyone from table 6 have something that you'd like to add? Excellent. Thank you for sharing. So now we're going to have you do an activity called a reflect and commit. We want you to list one thing that you will start doing based on today's small group instruction session, one thing that you'll stop doing, and one thing that you'll continue doing. We'll give you 3 minutes to go ahead and reflect. Go ahead and do that now. Anybody want to share something that you reflected and committed on for small group instruction? Yes, over there. I love that. Thank you so much. Anybody else? One more person. Right here on table 2. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Well, we want to thank you for your participation and engagement in this session.